The first snow of the season fell that morning, quiet and innocent, dusting the sleepy town of Mill Creek in a soft white blanket. But by nightfall, peace would shatter, secrets buried for decades would claw their way to the surface, and one brave dog, trained to sniff out danger, would uncover something far more powerful than explosives or drugs. He would uncover the truth. It all started with a call. Deputy Sarah McConnell had been on the force for 12 years, known for her calm under pressure and unwavering loyalty to the town. She had her partner with her, Max, a 6-year-old German Shepherd canine, intelligent, fiercely loyal, and, as many in town would say, with a sixth sense. The call was strange. A local groundskeeper had reported strange noises coming from the abandoned street. Jude's church, which had been closed for nearly 3 decades. Some said it was haunted. Others, just decaying wood and wind. But the groundskeeper, eyes wide and hands trembling, insisted, "There's something alive in there." Sarah didn't believe in ghosts. Max didn't care. He followed sense, instincts, and his training. But what neither of them knew was that tonight, the past would collide with the present in a way that would change everything. The church loomed under the moonlight, its once glorious stained glass windows now shattered, ivy creeping along the stone walls. Sarah stepped out of her cruiser, crunching through the snow, Max at her side. As they approached the entrance, Max stopped cold. His ears shot up, body tense. A low, guttural growl escaped his throat. "Easy, boy," Sarah whispered, hand on her holstered weapon. But Max wouldn't move. His eyes were fixed on the heavy wooden door. Then, suddenly, he lunged forward, sniffing rapidly, pawing at the threshold. And that's when they heard it, soft, almost imperceptible, a cry. A child's cry. Sarah's heart dropped. She immediately radioed for backup, but in her gut, she knew they couldn't wait. She drew her weapon, gave Max the command, and together, they pushed open the creaking door. What they saw froze them in place. The air was thick, stale, and smelled of mold and dust. The pews were rotting, the altar barely standing. But in the far corner, illuminated by a thin shaft of moonlight, was a boy, no more than 8 years old, curled into a ball, shivering, dirty, and barefoot. Max didn't hesitate. He trotted over, gently nuzzling the boy's arm, whining softly. Sarah lowered her gun and knelt beside them. "Hey sweetheart," she said gently, her voice cracking. "What's your name?" The boy looked up with wide, terrified eyes. "Eli," he whispered. But what shook Sarah wasn't just the boy's condition, it was the fact that Eli matched the description of a child who had gone missing 24 years ago. A case that had never been solved. A case that haunted the town. A case that had led to false accusations, destroyed reputations, and broken families. And now, here he was. Alive. Medical teams rushed in. Eli was taken to the hospital. Sarah sat in her cruiser, stunned, trying to process what had just happened. Max lay beside her, calm now, but watching her with his deep brown eyes, as if understanding the magnitude of what they'd just discovered. But the mystery had only begun. DNA confirmed it. Eli was indeed the boy who had vanished from a family picnic in 2001. He hadn't aged a day. Not a wrinkle, not a scar. He was still 8 years old. The doctors were baffled. The town spiraled into panic and awe. Religious groups claimed it was a miracle. Scientists wanted to study him. News vans flooded the streets. Sarah shielded Eli from it all, driven by an overwhelming sense to protect him. But then came the dreams. Eli began talking in his sleep, whispering names, places, dates, names of children who had also gone missing, some known to authorities, some not. Places that hadn't been investigated. Dates that led to real abductions. It became clear that Eli had been kept somewhere else, somewhere dark, and only recently returned. Sarah pored over files. Every clue Eli mumbled became a piece of a larger puzzle. She faced resistance. The department warned her to back off. The town didn't want more panic. But Sarah couldn't. Max wouldn't let her. Every time they investigated a new location Eli mentioned, Max would lead them to hidden spaces, underground tunnels, sealed basements, rooms covered in soundproof padding. In each, they found evidence: children's toys, fingerprints, old food. Proof that Eli had not been alone. The deeper they dug, the more dangerous it became. Sarah received threats. Her brakes were cut. Her home was broken into. But she wouldn't stop. And then Eli disappeared again. Gone from the hospital. No sign of forced entry. Just his bed, empty, sheets cold. Sarah was devastated. She searched for weeks, until one night, Max woke her up, pacing, barking. He ran to the door, whining, then to the car. He wanted to go. Sarah trusted him. They ended up back at the church. This time, the door was open. Inside, everything was exactly the same. Except for one thing. Eli stood at the altar, this time older, maybe 15, smiling. "I'm okay," he said softly. "I had to go back. There were more. We freed them." Sarah didn't understand. Tears welled in her eyes. She stepped forward, reaching out. But Eli just smiled, stepping backward into the shadows. "Tell them, it's over now." Then he was gone. No one believed her. Some thought she broke under pressure. But weeks later, 11 more missing children were found, alive, left at different churches across the state. All of them remembered Eli. All said the same thing. "He showed us the way out." The town of Mill Creek never forgot what happened that winter. Street Jude's was eventually restored, not as a church, but as a shelter for missing and abused children. Sarah retired a few years later, adopting one of the rescued girls as her own. She still keeps Max's badge on the mantle. He passed away peacefully, a hero to the end. And every first snowfall, a small boy's laughter echoes faintly behind the church door, as if reminding them. Sometimes, even in the darkest places, hope waits patiently to be found.